recognize it from the videos.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, blatantly honest.
All the videos. I think there's 5 of them now, and yeah, that's pretty funny. Of all the cars to not know right off the top of my head. Ken Block's car, and he does a fantastic job. He's driving one of the Fords, and his Ford is actually not out of the Oldsburgs team. He's got his own team that he runs that car from. He does really well. He actually qualified 2nd today, so we're expecting big things from Ken. And you know, all those Gymkhana series and all the stuff that he does with that vehicle, just amazing stuff from Ken. The Hoonigan, as he likes to be known as. And then next to Ken's car, that's Reese Millen, and Reese Millen from San Juan Capistrano. And Reese is also a drifting champion. We've got a few of them in the field here. He's also got such a resume from car movies. So if you like, you know, Dukes of Hazzard or any of the Fast and the Furious movies, or any of the commercials and things, he does a great job with all that stuff. Reese Millen, also very fast here this weekend too, so we expect big things from him. And I mentioned Andreas Eriksson there in the Best Buy Ford Fiesta. That's that light blue and white car. And he's the team owner. He runs Oldsburg MSE, and he's filling in for Marcus Grunholm, and a very good driver. Runs in the European Rallycross Championship and is very successful as well. So great to see Andreas actually racing. I know he's very excited about it. Next to him, David Binks, also out of the same stable, and that's the eBay Ford Fiesta. And David Binks out of Great Britain, and out there driving that car. And again, just such a fast car. David's had some really good races this year. I'm sure he's expecting even more this weekend. All right, next to him we've got Pat Morrow, Pat out of Pennsylvania, and one of the privateer Subarus. Pat does a really good job. He is the bravest jump guy out here. He loves the jump. And whenever that jump's set up, he's always the first guy to go over it. So Pat's been working hard on that car, and actually it's running really well this weekend. So hopefully we'll see some good results out of Pat Morrow. And next to Pat, another guy that needs no introduction, and that's Travis Pastrana right there, who just got finished with the truck race. Big round of applause for Travis. We'll have to see how he does. I hope he's getting lots of water and Gatorade, electrolytes, because I'm sure he's pretty kind of dried out from racing that truck around for 150 laps. But he's ready to go. And as I mentioned earlier, Travis won the last round in New Hampshire, so that's going to be great to watch Travis. He also has looked really fast today, and expecting great things from Travis. Next to Travis, we've got Stefan Verdier, originally from France, lives in Long Beach, California, driving the Motor City Hyundai and the Veloster. And Stefan's a great guy, and he's had a very good season. This car's been getting more and more competitive each round. And speaking of that, next to him, Samuel Hubinet in the Ineos bright orange Saab out of Per Eklund's and Andy Scott's racing team. And that car very, very quick. And Samuel's sitting 3rd in the points so far, which for kind of a small team, really impressive stuff from a different car company too. That Saab is very fast, so keep an eye on that orange Saab. It's always up there in the races. Next to him, another one of those action sports superstars. We've got Brian Deegan, and Brian does a great job. He, of course, X Games gold medalist last year. Very good racer, and out of all the action sports guys, Brian is the guy that really has adapted. Both he, Ken, and now Travis have really taken rallycross very seriously. So these guys, they're competitive. Really competitive racers, so don't just say, oh, they haven't been racers all their life. These guys really know how to race these cars. You see that this evening. And then first race back is Topi Heikkinen on the very end there, and Topi is back. And still, actually, if you can see, he's got a couple of crutches still with him, and he's still healing up from a crash that many people saw on YouTube as well. If you happen to see that X Games crash where he actually shorted the big gap jump. And ended up, we're so happy to have him back. He's actually looked very competitive. He's always a real competitive driver.
Bray doesn't like being reminded of that while he's on crutches down on the front screen.
It might be a good point, but he's been driving well, so I think he's right back there. And he took that jump. I watched him hit that jump for the first time, and he had no qualms about it. He went and did it perfectly his first time out.
Excellent. Well, there they are, race fans. Get a big round of applause coming out here. That's your drivers for tonight. Local rallycross here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You know, Paul, you were talking about being racers. Brian Deegan down there rushing up to the car. You got to pull for, I'm pulling for him a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not because of what you think, but the fact is, I know he's been running some midget cars and some sprint cars with the Cruiser, Corey Cruisman. His buddy Artis coming up here and races at the dirt track with us, all our races at Bull Ring. So he's getting out there and getting to those cars, and that is why I'm going to pull for him tonight, because he's a circle track racer too, and any circle track racer is all right in my book.
I agree, and that's a great kind of insight into the way Brian Deegan thinks. He's a real thinking man's racer, and he doesn't just go out there and kind of drive the car around and try and figure it out, but he'll go jump in different types of race cars. He wants to experience everything he can. And you can see it in the way he drives. He's got a lot of different tools at his disposal because he's a pretty versatile driver. So I like his approach. So I wouldn't shy away from calling Brian to win this race. I think with Travis's performance in the last race, you've got to look really hard at him. And then, of course, you know we've got Tanner Foster qualified on pole. He's leading the championship, so he's got to be a favorite as well. So there are plenty of cars out here. You've got to remember 12 of these cars within 1 second of each other. So there's a lot of quality cars out here.
Well, another factor to consider in for like Travis Pastrana, you got to take into consideration the fact he's been out here ripping around in the Camping World Truck Series. He was here early this morning. I got here at about 7 o'clock this morning, so I wanted to catch the practice. He was already back in the garage area with the rally car, or with the Global Rallycross car. Then had to run with the truck series. He ran that whole race out here with us. He had everything that went along with that, all the media things, all the practice sessions, all that. So he's got to be a little bit tired coming to this. Whereas these other guys maybe hung out back in the holler, hung out in the camper, rested, drank lots of water, like you said, got prepared for the race tonight. Meanwhile, he's been out here hammering on it for how many laps with the Camping World Truck Series?
Yeah, and not only that, but the truck, I mean, around an oval, how different could that possibly be than driving one of these Global Rallycross cars? So he's also got to kind of get his head wrapped around the differences in the vehicles and adapt to that. There's also, though, he's got some experience. He's been out driving, so he's kind of got his game face on already because he's been racing already today. So you never know, that could end up being an advantage for him.
Well, that's true. That's true. He might already be in a mindset. Well, they head back in. We'll get them stacked up again. 3 heat races coming out. How's the heat race procedure work?
So it's very similar, Chad. It's really similar to any sort of motocross event where you've got heat races, and then you've got a last chance qualifier. You know, so you've got certain people that go through. The top 2 will go through their heat, and that'll determine the first place finisher will be in the front row of the main. The second place finisher will be in the second row of the main, and then where their position is on that row will be determined by their finish time relative to the other heats. So they'll line them up like that, and then anyone that's finishing basically below second place of third, fourth, and fifth in each of the heats, they're going to go to the LCQ. And so then they're going to run that LCQ with those cars, and then from that we're going to get our final 4, which will give us 10 in the main final.